In this next story, talking about eating while black. Is it a DUI or is it driving while black? Jessie Thorton, a resident in Surprise, Arizona, was stopped 4 times because he was a black man living in Surprise, Arizona. But in this particular instance, let me tell you a little bit about Jessie, and let me tell you his story on this one. So, Jessie Thorton, he's 66 years old. He's a firefighter. And because his wife, they live alone, him and his wife, works a night shift, he ends up sleeping in the day like he's adjusted his schedule to his wife's schedule. So he ends up sleeping in the day, like his wife does. And then he does stuff at night. So, this particular night, it was 11 p.m., and he was leaving his gymnasium, or leaving the gym. Driving home from the gym, he had just come from a really long swim, and he was stopped by the police. When he was stopped by the police, they said they allegedly caught him switching lanes or crossing lanes, and thus they pulled him over. When they pulled him over, they said they took him out. They said, because of our light tells us that you're drunk or you're driving under the influence, and he says, no, I just came from swimming, and so my eyes are red. And so then they got another officer, and both these officers, Dumb and Dumber, Officer Dumb and Officer Dumber, who's like, are we sure we're doing this process right? Are we doing this inspection right? Is everything happening right? Just don't know what they're doing, right? They say to him, we're going to give you a sobriety test. And so Mr. Thornton says, the reason why I'm actually swimming is because I'm in therapy for my knee and my hip, and I'm actually having surgery on my knee in a couple of days. Thus, I'm not going to be able to walk a straight line for you because I have a bad knee. Oh, and I have a bad hip. They say, whatever, you're drunk because you failed the sobriety test because you can't walk a straight line because he has a bad hip, right? So they arrest him, sit him on the curb. He can't sit down because he has a bad knee and a bad hip. And they take him to the jailhouse. When they take him to the jailhouse, they find one of their sobriety specialists, or I guess they're drug therapy people who, they're chemists that test all these things. And when they breathalyzed him and ran his blood alcohol, ladies and gentlemen, it was at 0.00. Absolutely, positively, no alcohol in his system whatsoever. None. Finished. Nothing there. But they arrested him none the same. His car was impounded. He got a letter saying his driver's license was suspended until he went to court. All these things happened to Mr. Thornton, even though he really wasn't drunk. It was just 2 officers overextending their hands of the law. The good news is for Mr. Thornton, is he is suing the city, as he should. I hope he wins.